Hi, welcome to Holistically Healthy. I'm Kara, and I'm a wife, a mom, a teacher, and a certified integrative holistic health coach. I own Holistically Yours Health and Wellness, and I have additional certifications in behavioral analysis, detoxification, and hormone health. I love all things health and fitness, but you won't find any fad diets or magic pills here. Join me as we achieve wellness that nourishes your mind, body, and soul. Get ready to discover how eating healthy can be simple and delicious, and how making realistic, sustainable shifts will empower you to achieve all of your health goals. From creative ways to incorporate more whole foods into your diet, to finding joy in movement and practicing mindfulness, together we will navigate the confusing world of nutrition and empower you to take control of your health. And I'll be here to support you every step of the way. So grab your coffee, your laundry basket, or your car keys, and let's dive in. Well, today on the podcast, I have Jackie Garabo with me. Jackie, your story is so inspirational, and we've never actually sat down and spoken about it before.
Nope.
Just little bits and pieces through text messages and what I see you post on social media and just from knowing you. But it's just, your story is amazing and you're such an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah. I wanted to have you on because I feel like so many people will learn so much from you and everything everything you've done to heal your body.
Yes.
So, can you share a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what you do?
Sure. My name is Jackie. I'm 36 years old. I am married to my husband, Phil. I'm a registered nurse and have been for about 4 years. I recently made the decision to leave bedside nursing to work in a less stressful environment as a school nurse. My husband and I own an electrical contracting company. I have a dog named Lola. I have no kids as of yet. I have a bunch of nieces and nephews that I love very, very much.
Yes, you do. And they love you.
I've always been passionate about fitness. For about 15 years ago is really when I got into the gym.
Okay.
I started lifting heavy, loved running. I was running miles a day. But I didn't really get into my holistic journey until recently.
Mm-hmm.
At 28 years old, I was diagnosed with MS. But I say I have MS. MS does not define me. It is not me. And since then, I've just been trying to figure out life and figure out this disease in a way where I can, continue what I'm doing, not be scared of my disease, and really push through and commit to my goals.
I love that though. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. Yeah. I love that you said it doesn't define you. Like you have it, but it doesn't define you.
Yep. As you know, my mom has MS, so I've watched her my whole life go through it. I saw what she did and what she didn't do, right and wrong, and that led me to where I am today.
And it's important too, because I'm sure that, you were able to, watching your mom go through it, you're able to see her struggles and you also knew what to look for.
What to look for, what were the signs and symptoms. That's how I actually, knew that something was going on. One of my first symptoms, how I got diagnosed with MS, is I would have these they're called night starts, I found out.
Okay.
When you're falling asleep, I would get this jerking motion, like the feeling when you're falling asleep and you're falling and you wake up.
Yes.
It would happen constantly, all night, every night. And I was like, something's going on. Something is different. That was really my only symptom, but I knew something deep in my bones was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I went to a neurologist. She did an MRI of my brain and did a spinal tap. Everything came back normal. And
Wow.
yes. So they check your spinal fluid for any immune markers or inflammatory markers. Mine was clean.
Okay.
My brain, the MRI of my brain was had 0 lesions. So she was like, no, there's nothing going on. I'm like, something's going on. I know something is going on. And with MS, you have to it's like a trial of different tests until you reach a conclusion, basically, plus your symptoms. So
Okay.
I said, can we just do a spinal MRI to make sure? Because you usually do brain and spine and then do a spinal tap. So she did the spine, and lo and behold, there was lesions all over my spine. And she was like, okay, I see that this might be MS. I'm going to send you to a specialist. So I went to a specialist, and he concluded, yep, you definitely have MS. We're going to start. And thank God I caught it early on. It was very early on. I almost feel like it was grace from God, because he was like, just so you know, and these night starts that you're having, it's not even MS. So the fact that you came in here,
Wow.
is like, it was mind blowing. I got chills. It was mind
You just
blowing.
gave me chills. Like you literally just gave me chills.
So he started me right away on something called Copaxone. It's a very low dose medication, but it worked for me. It was so good. I gave myself an injection every other day. It kept my disease or my symptoms at bay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after, I was on it till like 2022, and then I switched medications, and that's when everything went downhill from there.
Wow. That's truly amazing. Like, and thank God you knew what else to ask for.
Yep.
Like,
Thank God I'm a nurse. Thank God
yes.
I was in the medical field, and I was advocating for I knew something was wrong. And that's a really big thing that I've noticed with other people that I talk to that have autoimmunes. They're not all the same. MS is called the snowflake disease. Everybody is different, and everybody has their own symptoms. So it's not cookie cutter. It's not everything, everything is going to match up. So if you feel like something is going on and a doctor's ignoring you, keep pushing. Find another doctor. I always say that to the people that I speak to about my disease. Like, your body, something is wrong. Keep fighting until you have an answer.
Yeah. I think it's so important too, because you just know. Like I
Yeah.
have two autoimmune diseases, and a lot of my clients, they have autoimmune diseases, and they've said like, I just knew. And
Yeah.
sometimes you're not going to get that diagnosis right away. You're not going to get that answer right away.
Nope.
And, you were lucky because like you said, you were a nurse, you knew what tests to ask for. And a lot of us don't know, like I would have no idea where to start at all.
Yep.
And it's so important to keep pushing and pushing and find somebody who's going to listen.
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And listen, it's scary. Like you have these symptoms, something is going on. You're going up against doctors who say that they know it all.
Right.
And you feel, like intimidated, but you know your body best. Find and that's the only thing I can tell everybody is find a doctor that lines up with your path, like your beliefs. If you have a doctor that really is just off to the left and you're off, like you have to be lined up.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that I've noticed. Because like, and why I'm on this podcast, I really started to focus on my holistic healing this year. Like that's when I really started focusing on it. For years I was taking on what Western medicine was saying and my neurologist was saying that, diet doesn't really matter. There's no scientific proof with MS and autoimmune diseases that diet really matters. Just stay away. You can try to stick to a Mediterranean diet, but it's not proven, or just stay away from processed foods. I knew deep in my heart that was not true.
Right.
I knew that there was a way I could heal myself other than this medication that I was given. So I was on this medication. The doctors put me on a medication that was a lot stronger, and I got worse. And he told me that I was going to be on this medication because he kind of scared me into being on this medication because like I said, I was on this other medication called Copaxone. He put me on something called Tysabri, which was an infusion every 6 weeks. And when I was on it, my immune system completely tanked.
Wow.
Because it's an immune suppressant. Like my disease is, an autoimmune. So, my own immune system attacks my brain and spinal cord. So he wanted to suppress that. It didn't work. My MS actually got worse. I started having weakness in my right hand, and my left leg started to get a little weaker. And I said, I don't understand. You
Right.
know,
It's supposed to help. Like,
it's
why
supposed
is it
to
not
help.
helping?
But all the while, I wasn't eating how I was supposed to be eating because I wasn't instructed to. Like I
Right.
didn't know. I didn't do my research, which I should have. I was
But you
eating.
also trust your doctors, right? You always say, "Oh,
Correct.
the doctor, my doctor," and they do. They have the best intentions,
Yes,
but you you go by what they say,
of
you
course.
know,
Because yeah, but they only learn one
one
way
way.
in
Yes.
school,
Yes.
and there are other ways, better ways, I think. And I'm proof of that because
Hmm.
I've healed myself, or I feel like I'm healing myself. But, you know, I was eating like garbage and I was getting cold sores, canker sores, yeast infections, UTIs. I mean, you name it. I just was getting sicker and sicker. And my husband was like, babe, this can't be the way. I said, it
Right.
can't. I can't do this. So I had a relapse on the medication in 2024, last December.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, it was eye-opening. It was the scariest moment of my life. I lost my vision. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I thought I had my MS under control with Western medicine, and I said, nope, that's it. I started really diving deep into holistic healing, read books. I follow Anthony Williams. I don't know if you know about him.
I do. Yeah. He's amazing.
Chef's kiss. He's the best.
Yes.
I've spoken with many women that have MS that has followed his protocols.
Hmm.
Zero lesions. There were lesions all over their brain and spinal cord. None are to be found now. So
It's amazing.
just hearing that, like, it gave me so much hope
Yeah.
that I believe that Western medicine is important for certain things, but I believe that holistic healing is the way to go when truly, truly healing ourselves, because we can heal ourselves. We can heal
Absolutely.
our bodies.
Absolutely. And
Even if,
I believe that's the whole basis of my practice. Like I
right,
fully believe that because I've done it also. Like
right.
I have been on the drugs, I've taken the shots and for my own autoimmune diseases, and it wasn't until I changed my diet and lifestyle that I truly healed my body.
100%. And I don't want to sit here and say, like this is for everybody. Just
Right.
holistic healing is for everybody. Everybody's different. Some people might need a little bit of Western medicine. Some people might not.
Yes.
I'm just sharing, what really works for me and what has worked for me.
Right. We all
Yeah.
have our own experiences.
Right.
And the hope in doing this podcast and in, like I said, the entire basis of my business is to share that, like, there's other ways of doing things, and you don't stop until you find what works for you, and you can heal your
Heal.
body.
You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
God made us perfect, and I truly believe that, and I truly I, I, there's just so many things that our bodies are fighting on a daily basis, from the
Hmm.
air we breathe to the
Yep.
water we drink, to the food that we eat. All of it. There's contaminants, there's pollutions, toxins, heavy metals. Our body is in constant, not even fight or flight. It's in constant
Yeah, I was gonna say fight mode,
protective.
but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
It's just trying.
protecting. Yes.
Always protecting us, always fighting off toxins. It's just we have to do better. We have to read
Mhm.
labels. We have to really know what we're putting into our body
Yeah.
in order to heal. And
And
that's
never
what.
stop learning. Like, I
Yes.
feel like you have to never stop learning. Just keep your eyes open and, like you said, know what you're putting in your body, and just never stop
Yep.
learning about it.
Yep. Keep pushing like keep looking, keep reading, keep doing what you got to do. Yeah, I don't know. I've worked really hard at this, and it's not easy. Like that
It's
was
not.
it's not. The hardest thing for me with my MS and with this protocol and with this lifestyle is keeping the lifestyle.
Yes.
It's very important. It's a non-negotiable. There are non-negotiables for me, and my non-negotiables are moving my body every day.
Hmm.
Every day you have to move your body in some way. Walking has been one of the most eye-opening, head clearing, Greatest thing I've done is just walking. It's changed my body, it's changed my mind. So walking is definitely a non-negotiable. Eating organic foods,
Hmm.
non-negotiable. I mean, so like keeping the lifestyle, taking the supplements, the hundreds of dollars of supplements, that is a non-negotiable for me. And it's that the hardest part of this whole journey is keeping that, because it's so easy to be able to just deviate. It's so easy.
Absolutely.
Your friend, hey, you want to go out for a drink? I don't drink anymore. That was a big thing that I had to let go of. That was, I thought was okay in moderation.
Mhm.
It might be for some, not for me. So keeping the lifestyle has been one of the most challenging parts of this whole journey,
Yeah.
but it's the most rewarding. Like, I feel so amazing when I stick to my plan, I stick to my routine, I stick to, my goals. It's hard, but there's no feeling that could compare to that, because when I deviate is when I honestly feel the worst, you
Right.
know?
So it's almost like there's no alternative. Like this is the
There
way it
is no
has to be, right?
correct.
Because like you said, you reached a point where it was so scary. You were in the hospital and you lost your like I remember like I saw you had it posted on Instagram and like I sent you a couple text messages, but I was scared for you. Like I
Terrifying.
it's yes,
It
yes.
when your health is taken away from you, there is no you are so humbled in that moment. Like,
Hmm.
you think everything is good, and guess what? It can be taken away from you like that.
Right.
Especially with people with autoimmunes. You never know, right? So we have to do our best to really take care of ourselves. Put sleep first. Sleep is the biggest thing for me too, Kara. Like, I prioritize sleeping, and if that means that I'm missing out on things and I don't go out to that late dinner with my girlfriends, or you know you know I don't stay up late watching. Sleep has been very important to me, and I find that um when I stick to all of these, yeah, my life is just better, and there is no other option out
Right.
there, you know?
The other
So,
option is being sick and nobody wants
correct.
that.
And
Yeah.
nobody wants though.
Yeah. So you reached a point where you had no choice but to like really change the foods that you're eating and your whole entire lifestyle. But like you
Hmm.
said, it's also not easy. It's not easy. So I'm gonna like
No.
put you on the spot for a second and ask like if somebody is struggling and they're trying really hard and they're just struggling, do you have like a piece of advice? Like when you're like, this is really, really difficult, like meal prepping on a Sunday and it's really difficult and I really don't want to do this. Do you have a piece of advice that you would give anybody who's trying to go through that and is just struggling with kind of like getting it all done and sticking to
I mean, what I really want to say is just push through. And I hate to say that, because what's on the other side of that is like the good stuff. Like, I know it's hard. Lean on your friends, ask for help. My husband helps me all the time, like, he helps me cook, you know, he helps me stick to, you need somebody in your corner that's gonna, whether it be a friend, a parent, a sibling, or your husband, or all of the above. You need somebody in your corner that's really going to help you stick to that plan, because we're not always going to want to stick to that plan, right? We're going to want to
right.
deviate, but you can have somebody to help you fall back on. And my husband has been that person for me. He has literally been an angel sent from God. I swear.
Oh,
He has
he is
just,
pretty amazing.
he's so amazing. Honestly, I could cry even thinking about it, but he has helped me navigate this whole journey. He's
Yeah.
just been there by my side, every doctor appointment, every every diet or every lifestyle change that I've done, he now does. So he's on the no dairy, no gluten, no egg, all that kind of stuff. He drinks from glass water bottles, like,
He's
he's just
living it
always
with
there.
you.
Yes, because that's
Yeah.
what he wants me healthy, and he wants me around, and I just feel like we can't do this on our own, right? This
Right.
is, you need support, and you need somebody that's going to be able to help you. So having somebody to talk to and vent to and all that. But I know believe me, I know there are some Sundays that I do not want to be in that kitchen. I do not want to be cooking and meal prepping and doing all that. But I know I feel better when I do, because when I don't do that, my week goes down the drain, and then everything else goes down the drain. Oh, I don't have that meal prepped. All right, maybe then I don't have to walk. Maybe I shouldn't walk. Maybe I'll just
Right.
order in. And then that's when the bad habits start to come back. And you just have to be locked in, laser focused. And I really feel like when people see how great they feel like eating like this, that is the motivation,
Yeah, that's
like
the reward.
that's the reward and that's the motivation of it, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that us people with autoimmunes, nobody really understands, right? Because some of us, we don't look
We
sick,
I was
right?
just gonna say we don't look sick. It's easier, I would think, a little bit easier for us to hide. How are you? Oh,
Yep.
you're okay. I'm doing good.
Oh,
I'm
you're
well.
okay.
I'm great. Yeah, I'm good.
Great.
But
Exactly.
that
You
struggle is
don't,
sometimes more internal
all the time,
because you
internal.
don't look
You don't,
sick,
oh, I might not be walking with a cane or I might not be in a
right?
wheelchair, but the fatigue I feel is something that I wish nothing on anybody, and I still push through. Like
Right.
if you don't feel sick, but you are sick,
Yeah.
and I just feel like sticking to my meal preps and my diet, my strict diet, and you know, that is where the reward is. So
Yeah.
if you're out there and you're, struggling right now and it's hard making that switch and it's expensive, I know it, but it really is what changed the game for me
Right.
and my
The
health.
consistency and staying consistent with it.
Yep. And being aware of the products that I put in my body.
Yeah.
Those little changes all add up to one big change and you feel it.
Right. So
So
I know that you changed the foods that you're eating, and that was a big, big difference. You eat very clean now. You said you focus on organic foods and no more dairy and gluten and things like that. Is there anything else besides changing your
yep.
diet and like moving your body that you mentioned supplements that's like really, really made a huge difference in healing your body?
Honestly, my relationship with God,
Okay.
my relationship with him has changed the game for me
Yeah.
because I am a control freak to a T. I
I know,
feel
me
like I
too.
control everything.
Yep.
And I'm in control. That's what I think. That's the thing, is I think I'm in control of everything. Until last year, I got a serious slap in the face that I'm not in control.
Mhm.
Um, so really getting closer to God, putting all my trust in him, knowing that he's never, put me in a bad place. It's
Right.
only been in a place where I'm going to learn and grow. Switching my perspective like that, that's really been the biggest game changer. Is I'm not in control, he's in control. I can only do what I can do to make me feel good down here, but he really, my faith is really something that changed the game for me.
I think that's a
Um,
super huge piece of it too, is like, your faith, but with that faith also comes like that mindset change. Like you
yeah,
said, you're not the one in control.
nope,
And having that mindset shift, like I feel like you can do all the things, but you also need to have that mindset shift. And it doesn't
yeah,
have to be even a belief in God. It can be whatever it is for you. And for you,
correct.
that's what it is. But
Yep,
whatever it is for you, whatever you believe in, whatever it is, that mindset shift
it
and
makes
the
all the difference.
letting go a little bit of that control, yes, makes
Yep,
all the difference.
yep, and not harboring like guilt, right? Because I always felt
Right.
like, I don't know, I felt like I had this shame inside of me all the time, like you're not eating right, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, like, almost
Mhm.
out of shame that I even had a disability. It was weird. I don't know, I've always had that. And when I got closer to God and when I started going to therapy, I don't it's such a big part of my life, therapy.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people I speak to say, oh, I don't need therapy. I'm like, everybody needs therapy. Everybody, okay? I don't
Makes a
care. I
huge
don't care what you
difference.
say. Oh my God.
Yes.
Because, it's just like any other doctor. Like if
Right.
something is wrong with you, you're going to go to a doctor, right? So if something is wrong with you up here, you're going to go speak to somebody that knows what they're talking about and can
Yeah.
help you work through these emotions that are unbiased to the situation, that really have true advice that really, really helps you,
Right.
So
And
I
somebody
think
you
a
can talk to too when you're sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's okay.
Somebody that you can talk to too, like when you're feeling that stress, you need to have
Yes.
that person. And like, yes, you can have like your husband or your best friend, but somebody who is very like unbiased, who really doesn't know
Right.
you in that way.
In
It's
that
wonderful
way,
to have that person too.
and can tell you to shut up or, not
Yeah.
shut up, but, like really tells you what's the reason why you're feeling these ways,
Right.
You might be feeling a certain way and you have no idea why.
Yeah.
And with any autoimmune and MS, like stress is the biggest factor that the place, like it's the biggest thing that causes flare-ups. It's the biggest thing that
Yes.
causes your like, so to get your stress under control is like the number one
Yep.
thing for me, actually. And like all of it is a combination to help that. Sleeping, supplements, diet, speaking with somebody that can help you, your faith, all of these come together and are able, and that's how I was able to really heal myself.
Yeah. I feel like that's exactly it. Like you've
Mm-hmm.
figured out how to put all those pieces together in a way that really works for you. And
Yep.
you didn't stop until you figured it out. And you're still figuring it out because it's always going to be a journey,
Yep.
but you are doing what works for you.
Yep.
And that is amazing. And that is what is so inspirational because
Thank
I feel like so many people struggle with finding a way to incorporate all of those pieces into their life.
Yep. And people struggle even how to like go. Like how do I even start? Like where do I
Mhm.
start? Like start reading labels on
Yeah.
foods. Start pick up a book, start looking into, what really, triggers autoimmunes. Like look for little things like that. Start making little changes of, you know, I don't know, not eating out so much, like
Yep.
cooking your own food. It's the little things. I know it's hard, and I know people like it's just a slew of information being thrown at you. You don't know
Yes.
what to do. It's a lot for people. So I just feel like I need people to know this didn't happen overnight for me.
Right.
It was slow, but I started integrating more and more. And as I started to feel better and read more and, implement stuff is like, and when I met my holistic practitioner, she's the one that really saved my life. I mean,
Yeah.
and that goes back to what I was saying before, like find a doctor, whether it's a holistic practitioner or, a Western medicine doctor, like, find a doctor that works with you, that believes in what you believe. She follows Anthony Williams protocols. So
Mhm.
I knew from the second I started talking to her, she was it, right? And I
Right.
started implementing everything that she did. And that's when I started to see changes. Like I had started following her in January, and then in February I went for just another test, an abdominal ultrasound. I was having like GI issues and all this stuff, and I had a little mass on my gallbladder that they were worried about. When they went back and checked it, it was gone. Like, see, it's just like, and I know it was from how I was eating. Like, I know it
Yeah.
was that. It wasn't just my MS. Like, I know and I go for scans every 6 months. My doctor is completely on board. My neurologist is completely on board with me doing everything holistically. She wants me to be on medication, but if I'm fine and I'm symptom free, there's no reason for me. And she is completely okay with me not being on that. So find a doctor that suits you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And don't
Yes.
stop until you find that, because there's not a worse feeling than having a doctor that pressures you into doing something that you don't want to do, you
Right.
know? So I just find that to be really important. And Tony
Yeah.
Jean, she's my holistic practitioner. She really was the one that saved my life. So I'm very grateful for her.
It's amazing. But like you said, you don't stop until you find somebody who fully supports you. There are
Correct.
so many practitioners out there. You just keep going until you find one that will listen and work
Yep.
with you and
Yep.
do what you feel is necessary for your body and your healing.
Yep. 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
So, what do you wish more people understood about living with an autoimmune disease?
So like I said before, a lot of people with autoimmunes, you can't tell that they have it. You don't know.
Right.
Their daily struggle is something that they feel that you don't know.
When you go to work every day,
Yeah.
right? Like you're not just like, I am super tired today and I I'm struggling today. Like if you need more support in a situation like that, like I am very close to like my T's and I'll go in, I'll be like, I am not feeling it. I am exhausted. Like I am going to need more support for you. Like how do you deal with that in your day-to-day life? Like when you're going to work and things like that,
Yeah.
are you able to ask for more support or are you kind of like, you just push through, especially, I mean, you're in a new position now. So maybe
I
that's not
am
even
in
the
a new.
best question to ask you.
No, but it is though. So at my old job, which was very demanding, I was in bedside nursing. I was a pediatric oncology nurse. It was the best years of my life. I learned so much. I had a lot of support there. All the girls were great. They knew my situation. They would take assignments for me so I wouldn't have a lot of assignments. And my boss was really understanding if I needed to call out because there's some days where I was just like, being bedside nursing, you do 3 to 4 12-hour shifts a week. You
Okay, it's
have
a long
no idea.
time.
It's a lot. It's a lot for
Yeah.
someone that doesn't have an autoimmune. And I was pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself to the point where I had a relapse. But my boss was very understanding. She was the best boss I ever had. She, take the time, take the day, take the PTO. She told me, why don't you do family leave so that you can do intermittent family leave so you would be able to take days for your MS that you don't have, it wouldn't, be held against you because, if you call out, excuse me, too many times, you would get
Right.
written up. So she was on my side. My coworkers were on my side. They took, I had a lot of that support, but it just wasn't enough. I was still very stressed, so I had to make the decision to move to a different job. So that's when I became a school nurse.
Okay.
Now, the workload is so much less and my hours are so much better that like it feels like less than a half of a day compared to what I was working for. But
Right.
I'm a float nurse now. So I float to different schools and I'll always have somebody there with me. So
Right.
I'll always tell the other nurse, listen, I'm not feeling that good today. I'm a little tired, and don't worry about it. We'll work as a team, whatever you got to do. We get an hour break. I mean, it's, my boss is great now. She's so understanding about everything. She knows my situation. And that's another thing that I like to preface too. Like it's your own journey and it's your disease. And if you don't feel comfortable telling people that you have a disease, that's on you. And that's
Right.
totally okay. I, on the other hand, like to let it be known because I don't want them. I want them to be, I want to be, number one, I want to be fully transparent, but I want to be honest with them and let them know, like, this is really the deal. Like, I'm not a lazy POS. Like, I
Right.
have a
Right.
disease.
Yes.
Like, I have a disease and that's okay. Like, that's okay. You should never have
Right.
to be ashamed of it. So having support at your place of work is like super important because when
Yeah.
you go there, you need to, lean on other people and that's okay. So I had it at both jobs. I'm very lucky, but it's just this job that I took now is far superior for me and in my disease. I have such a better work-life balance, and I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
for your disease, for everything, because I was away from my family. I was bedside nursing. Everybody knows you pick holidays, you miss holidays. I don't
Yeah.
have to pick a holiday this year, and it's just been great. It's like amazing. So having your husband or friend or family to lean on to and talk to, and people at your work, it's really important for them to know and help you get through it too. you
So
know?
asking for that support all around, not just at
All around.
home and like, hey, I am having a really hard time like meal prepping this, or I'm having a really hard time staying motivated and setting my alarm and going to the gym and making sure,
Yep.
but at work too. And just
Yes.
having that support from everybody.
Yep.
It
Yep.
is.
Yep. And, you know, my coworkers now are at Angels. They're the best. So
Yeah.
you're there.
Oh,
It's
thank
just,
you.
it's just been great.
Yeah. And it's not always easy for somebody to leave their position, especially when it's so stressful. But I think that's another important thing to hear is that,
Yep.
don't stop looking. Just like you don't stop looking for a doctor, you don't stop looking for a position that will help you, because if you're staying stuck in a job where you are so stressed and
Dead.
you have
Mhm.
long hours, you're not working, you can only do so much to heal your body.
Agreed. I mean, if that isn't the most thing I want to drive that home to people so much is like, I I didn't leave. I was thinking about leaving that job for a whole year. And I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to because I had a pride inside of me. I was like, this
Yes.
job is the best. And plus, I did love my job. Was
Mm-hmm.
it sad? You have no idea. Like, I had kids in there that I would be with for a year plus because they were there for bone marrow transplants, and they would pass away and I would just have to go on with my shift like nothing happened. Like,
Yeah.
that mental load does something to even somebody without an autoimmune disease. Like, it was,
Absolutely.
yeah. And it was really hard for me to leave. I mean, it was and it wasn't. It was really hard for me to leave that job because I felt a pride. Like, I was doing one of the hardest nursing jobs that ever could be. And I felt like
Yep.
if I downgraded and not downgraded, but, went to something
Yes.
a little easier,
Yep.
I was like, is my disease controlling me? Is it, I'm allowing it to control me? Am I getting worse? Like, all of these thoughts race through your head. And it's like, you have to go through the motions and you have to feel those thoughts, but just know it's adapting.
Mhm.
You're adapting to and it took me a long time to get there. It took me a relapse and a big health scare for me to get there, but it shook me and I realized, okay, I can't do this forever. I want
Right.
to do this forever, and it's okay that I'm not. So I looked for a different nursing job, and nursing is such a great field because there's so many avenues that you can take. It's not just bedside. Bedside is not it. And now when I look back on it, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Like, it was great and I loved it, but this position I'm in is like, I'm back with pediatrics. I'm with
Mhm.
pediatrics again, who are my heart. Kids are my heart. I could not be happier. There's just take that step. I know it's hard, but you're in control
Everything.
of your life. Well, you're in control of your life
Yeah.
as much as,
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
um,
And everything ends up falling into place.
right. And it
It
did.
will
And
work out.
it will work out, and it's scary, and it's not going to be scary. The whole thing is going to be scary, and you're going to grow
Right.
through this disease. You're really going to learn and adapt and see, really find who you are. And
Mhm.
that's just what this whole journey is about, right? It's like about the journey. It's about finding who you are, and you can do those hard things. You can, you know, make those hard choices. You can do it. And it's okay to find a different job.
Yeah. And I love what you just said. I don't even know if you realize you said it. You can grow through this disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not something that has to hold you back.
Nope.
It's scary, and it does have its moments where it's like it's going to feel like you're being held back, but
Yes,
you persevere and you just keep going and you grow through the disease. Like,
you do.
I
I
love that
say
you
that
just
to
said
everybody.
that.
It's true though. Like, I'm growing.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself more and more each day. And even somebody without an autoimmune, you change, you grow.
Hmm.
It's just our bodies it's a little harder on our bodies, but with the right, tools and the right food and the right doctors and the right jobs, you can you can do it.
Yeah. You just have to figure out what works best for you.
Absolutely, 100%. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's these autoimmunes, they're not cookie cutter.
Right.
Doctors don't know everything. It's not this fits that. It's whatever fits you and your lifestyle. And you're going to have a lot of trial and errors, and, you know, you might have some setbacks, but that's a part of it. That's a part of the game, you know, that's
It's part of the journey.
Yep. And you just got to roll with it. And I know it sucks, but
you have to.
Yep.
I love that. Jackie, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, because that's what it is. It's a journey.
It is.
And I know so many people are going to feel seen and heard and inspired and supported because of your story, because it truly is. You're amazing. You are inspirational. You are just amazing. Truly.
I just want to help, you know, I just want people to know with MS or with any autoimmune disease, like, you're not alone. If you need help, you can even come to me. Seriously, I love to help people in this kind of situations. I love to talk to people about things. You know, support groups are really big. Sometimes support groups can be scary, but when you're ready, they do help, because, you know, you're not alone.
Right. Nope. You're not alone.
Nope.
And that's the most important thing, I think, is to find the support, like we said, because when you feel alone, it's so much harder to continue and to heal and find that support. Even if it's just one person, you find that support.
Yeah. And to get out of that, when you feel alone in a dark place, it's really hard to get out of that, you know? So
it is.
Find that person, find that doctor, eat that food, that good food. I love helping people in that way too, just like you, like showing them what you should really be eating and what you should really stay away from. And then people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe how good I feel. It's just like, you know.
That should be our next podcast episode. We can do another one on healthy foods and reading nutrition labels and things like that. We should totally do that. We would be. No, it's so super important.
Love to do that. That's really where my passion is. So yeah, let's do that.
We'll plan it. Yeah.
Cool.
So where can people find you if they want some support for you and they want to reach out and chat?
You can follow me on Instagram at Jacquelina. That's JACQULINNNA, 3 N's. Okay. And on Facebook at Jacqueline Garibald. And you could email me at jacqueline.o'kane12@gmail.com. I recently got married. Well, not recently. 2 years ago. That's why my email is different. But
that's okay.
So yeah, you can email me with any questions. Find me on social. I'm always down to talk and help you through anything that you need to be helped through. So
thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me today and sharing your story.
I love this. And I can't wait for the next one. That's going to be even better.
Yes, we're going to plan it because it's going to be amazing. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be doable. You've got this, and I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. If you found this helpful, share it with a mom friend who's ready to add a little more ease into their day. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and if this resonated with you, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a review. It will help other busy moms like you find my content. You can also follow me on Instagram at holisticallyfitandhealthy for more health and wellness tips. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.